The movie opens on the red planet called Barsoom, known to us as Mars, a world divided among three great cities. The first, Zodanga, is known as the Predator City, a massive, moving fortress that devours everything in its path, draining the planet's already fading life. Then there's Helium, a magnificent city that has long resisted Zodanga's domination, matching its armies and airships for centuries. Also the Tharks, who lives and do their things alone from the other two cities. But when the ruler of Zodanga becomes trapped in a raging sandstorm, everything changes. Since then, Helium and Zodanga has been a huge war against each other. Out of nowhere, three mysterious godlike beings known as the Therns appear. They wipe out everyone except Sabthan, the Jedak, ruler of Zodanga. Their leader, Matai Shang, grants Sabthan a powerful weapon and promises him ultimate control if he follows their will. Shang instructs Sab then to propose peace through marriage to Princess Dija Thoris of Helium. If she accepts, Zodanga and Helium will unite under his rule, giving him dominion over all of Barsoom. The story shifts to Earth, 1881, where John Carter sends a mysterious letter to his nephew, Edgar Rice Burroughs, summoning him to his estate. When Edgar arrives, Carter's butler informs him that his uncle has recently passed away. At the mansion, Edgar meets Carter's attorney, Mr. Dalton, who shows him Carter's journals and research. Carter's tomb, oddly, is sealed from the inside, just as he had demanded before his death. Dalton explains that Carter left everything to Edgar, but only after 25 years. He then gives Edgar Carter's private journal, which only he is permitted to read. As Edgar begins reading, the movie flashes back 13 years earlier to the Arizona Territory, 1868. Carter, a weary former Confederate Army captain now hunting for gold, stops by a local shop to buy supplies. But the owner, Mr. Dix, refuses to sell to him because Carter owes too much already. Carter fights off Dix's men and forces him at gunpoint to hand over supplies, tossing him a chunk of gold as payment. Before he can leave, a group of Union soldiers storms in and knocks Carter unconscious. He later wakes up tied to a chair before Colonel Powell, who reveals that Carter has been evading capture for months. Powell wants him to rejoin the army to fight the Apaches, but Carter refuses. After several escape attempts, he's locked in a cell. The next morning, Carter manages to trick a guard, knock him out, and steal Powell's horse. Powell and his men pursue him across the desert, but their chase leads them straight into a deadly encounter with an Apache war band. When a skirmish breaks out, Powell is shot, and Carter risks his life to save him. They flee to the mountains and take refuge in a strange cave of gold. Inside the cave, Carter is amazed to find markings and walls glittering with gold. Suddenly, a mysterious Thern materializes behind him. The being attacks, and after a brief struggle, Carter kills him. As the Thern dies, he utters the word Barsoom while clutching a glowing blue medallion. Out of curiosity, Carter repeats the word, and in an instant, he's engulfed by blinding blue light and transported across space to an unknown desert world. Confused and disoriented, Carter soon realizes that the planet's weaker gravity allows him to leap vast distances. As he explores, he stumbles upon a nest of strange eggs just as a group of towering green-skinned aliens approaches. The Tharks, a fierce nomadic tribe led by Tars Tarkas, who stops them from shooting at Carter and then sends them away. Then, the leader drops his weapons and tries to speak with Carter. He introduces himself as Jedak of the Tharks. Then Carter introduces himself too and says he's from Virginia. Tars, who didn't understand that much, starts calling him Virginia thinking it's Carter's name, and then he asks Carter to jump again like he had done before. Carter immediately jumps and lands on Tars' weapons. He tries to attack Tars with it, but then he's being shot with a tranquilizer by one of the Tharks, giving them chance to capture him. Meanwhile, on Barsoom's red deserts, Princess Dija of Helium prepares to unveil a new energy weapon powered by the ninth ray, hoping it can turn the tide of war. But when her father Tardos, the Jedak of Helium, arrives, he couldn't listen to her, because Sabthan is already destroying their cities and ships with his great new power. Dija tries to introduce the weapon she's been working on to his father, insisting they can use the power to do anything they want. Suddenly a man touches the machine, causing it to blow up, which changes Tardos' mood. He tells her that Sabthan offered a truce to him to spare Helium. Dija will have to accept his hand in marriage. Immediately, Dija rejects to do it, insisting she won't marry him, but his father tells her there's no other way. After her father left, the man who had destroyed the device turns out to be one of Thern's spying the Helium and reporting to his master. Back among the Tharks, Carter is stripped of his clothes, washed in a strange liquid, and marked as one of their captives. He's fed a mysterious drink by Sola, Tar's daughter, which enables him to understand their language. Later that night, he attempts to escape, but is confronted by a fast, loyal Martian creature named Woola. who effortlessly keeps up with him no matter how high he jumps. During a Thark celebration, Carter intervenes when Woola is attacked and accidentally kills a Thark warrior in one blow. The next day, both he and Solo are punished. But before the sentence is carried out, chaos erupts. Zodanga and Helium ships appear overhead, locked in a massive sky battle. Amid the fight, Princess Dija tries to flee Zodanga's airships but crashes. Carter spots her falling and leaps across the battlefield, catching her midair and bringing her safely to the ground. The two team up, taking down enemy soldiers together in a fierce display of agility and strength. Carter jumps aboard the enemy ships, single-handedly destroying several before escaping the wreckage. Tars Tarkas and his people celebrate Carter's bravery. Dija introduces herself to the Tharks and pleads for their help to defend Helium from Zodanga's tyranny. But Tars refuses, choosing neutrality. Instead, he honors Carter by naming him Doter Sojud, marking him as a warrior and his right-hand man among the Tharks. As night falls, the Tharks begin gathering the bodies of the fallen soldiers, while Carter and Dija talk quietly under the fading light. Dija, still astonished by Carter's incredible leaping ability, asks him to teach her people so they might stand a chance against Zodanga. But Carter refuses. In their conversation, Dija begins to realize that Carter isn't from Barsoom at all. Curious, she draws a map of the planets, and Carter finally understands. He's on Mars. He tells her he's from Earth, which they call Jasum. Dija is fascinated by how he could have crossed the stars. Carter then shows her the mysterious medallion that brought him to Barsoom. Recognizing its power, Dija becomes suspicious, thinking Carter might be a Thurn in disguise. Hoping to find answers, she leads him to the forbidden Thark temple, where outsiders are not allowed. Sola, fearing for their safety, tries to stop them, but they press on. Inside the temple, they stand before the statue of Isis, the Thark's sacred goddess, whose holy messengers are the Thurns themselves. High up on the walls, Carter notices strange writing. With his great leaps, he carries Dija up to read it. Together, they decipher a clue about a sacred river that leads to the gate of ISS, said to hold the secrets of life, death, and possibly a way back home. Dija promises to take him there, but before they can leave, they are caught by the Tharks. Sola and Dija are thrown into Tars Tarkas' tent, while Carter is held down outside. When Tars arrives, Carter tries to explain they were only seeking answers. Furious at Carter's trespass, and knowing Sola could be executed for it, Tars loses his temper. Carter quickly realizes that Sola is Tars' daughter, and despite his anger, Tars decides to secretly help them. He returns Carter's medallion and urges him to escape with Sola and Dija down the river ISS, warning him to keep Sola safe. By morning, the Tharks discover what Tars has done, betraying his own people to free them. As the trio travels across the barren Martian desert, they stop to rest before pressing on through a massive dust storm. Meanwhile, in Zodanga, Sab then questions Matai Shang about why he needs a marriage alliance when he already possesses the Thurn's ultimate power. Shang explains that a royal wedding will legitimize his rule, ensuring no one can oppose him. Back on the journey, Sola realizes that Dija isn't actually leading them to the gate of ISS, but toward Helium. Carter confronts her, and Dija admits she only wanted him to see the destruction Zodanga has brought upon her people. Furious, Carter starts to leave, but Dija stops him and confesses the truth. She fled Helium to escape her forced marriage to Sab then. Moved by her honesty, Carter helps her up, and they continue together. Elsewhere, Shang learns from his Thurn agents that Carter is nearing the gate of ISS. He sends Sabden after them. Eventually, the trio reaches the sacred river ISS, sailing down its glowing waters until they arrive at a colossal pyramid said to house the gate. Carter carries Dija and leaps to the top, triggering the medallion, which opens a hidden path inside. Within the chamber, they place the medallion on a pedestal bathed in blue light, revealing an intricate holographic display powered by the ninth ray, the same mysterious energy source as Sabdhan's weapon. The projections show that the medallion draws power from the ninth ray and maps the solar system. Carter realizes the device connects Mars and Earth, teleporting a copy of him across the stars. Dija, amazed, admits that everything Carter said about Earth is true. She realizes that the key to decoding the mechanism lies in her research back in Helium. Yet as she looks into Carter's eyes, she senses that part of him no longer wants to leave. They share a long, passionate kiss. Suddenly, they hear Sola screaming outside. Rushing out with the medallion, they find a vicious horde of Warhoon warriors descending upon them, creatures controlled by the Thurns. Carter leaps into battle, protecting Dija as they flee downriver. But the Warhoons give chase relentlessly. When they finally reach the shore, Carter tells Sola to take Dija and escape. Haunted by memories of his wife and daughter's death in a fire, he decides to stay behind and fight. Woola, ever loyal, stands by his side. In a storm of sand and fury, Carter charges into the army of Warhuns, cutting through them with ferocity, his leaps and strength unmatched. But the swarm soon overwhelms him. At the last moment, a helium airship appears in the sky, blasting the Warhuns and rescuing Carter. When the dust settles, Carter lies barely conscious. Sab then soon arrives, pretending to make peace. Dija, furious, draws her sword to strike him down, but her father intervenes. Sab then claims he has repented, even kneeling and offering his weapon to Dija as a gesture of love. He tells her that she alone holds the power to unite Helium and Zodanga. If she marries him, she can bring lasting peace to Barsoom. Later, Carter wakes up in a dimly lit room inside Zodanga. A guard suddenly enters to speak with him, ignoring the other soldiers who try to stop him. The man quickly whispers for Carter to pretend he's being held captive. In a flash, they leap into action, fighting off several guards before escaping together. The man introduces himself as Kantos Khan, an ally sent by Princess Dija. He explains that they must jump nearly 200 feet to reach the next building, where Dija is hiding. With guards closing in, Carter grabs Kantos and makes a massive leap across the gap. They barely manage to hold on, climbing inside to safety, where Carter finally reunites with Dija. Dija dismisses everyone so she can speak with Carter alone. Carter pleads with her not to marry Sab then, but she insists she has no choice, unless Carter gives her a reason not to, like staying and fighting for Helium. Carter hesitates, saying he can't. Dija then reveals the medallion, telling him she's decoded the command words that can return him to Earth. Ok, Ohem, Octai, Wise. She urges Carter to repeat after her. As Sab then begins pounding on the door, Carter speaks the 4 words, and the medallion glows to life. Dija tells him to say the final word, Jasum, but Carter can't bring himself to do it. Sab then bursts in with his guards, but Carter has already vanished. Dija, pretending to be alone, hides her emotions as Sab then leads her away to continue the wedding preparations. Meanwhile, Carter has reappeared atop the building. As he's sneaking away, he encounters a woman in the hallway who suddenly fires a beam of blue light, hypnotizing and paralyzing him. The woman morphs, revealing herself as Matai Shang, the Thurn in disguise. Shang interrogates Carter aboard an airship, studying him and realizing he's from Earth, an American soldier. He reveals his true form and purpose. The Thurns are ancient manipulators who travel between worlds, feeding on civilizations until nothing remains. Barsoom is their next victim, and Sab then is merely their puppet. Shang explains that once the 2 moons align and the wedding vows are spoken, he will destroy Helium entirely. Before Carter can act, Woola suddenly appears, knocking Shang down and biting through the weapon he used to control Carter. Free again, Carter grabs Shang's medallion and leaps onto a passing airship, escaping into the skies. Though he struggles to control the ship, he manages to fight off Zodanga's guards, taking over another vessel midair before crashing in the desert, where Sola happens to find him. Carter repairs the ship, and together they set out again, but soon crash once more, only to be captured by the Tharks and brought back to their city. There, Carter discovers that Tal Hages has overthrown Tars Tarkas and declared himself Jedak. Thrown into prison, Carter finds Tars badly wounded and chained beside him. Tars reveals that he lost his duel with Tal and is now disgraced. When Carter tells him that Sola was captured too, Tars is overcome with rage and sorrow, blaming himself for everything. The next day, Carter and Tars are dragged into a massive fighting arena, their legs shackled to a stone block. Thousands of Tharks cheer as Tal orders them to face a monstrous beast, a great white ape. The enormous creature charges, striking both men down. Carter quickly distracts it to protect Tars, dodging its attacks with incredible leaps, though the chains limit his movement. When Tal orders a second white ape to be released, the crowd roars. Sola is forced to watch from above, but she pushes her captor over the ledge, and both fall into the pit. The female Thark is instantly devoured. Sola rushes to help her father while Carter fights for their lives. He wraps his chains around one ape's neck, pulling with all his strength until it rips free of the stone anchor. Using the chain as a weapon, Carter smashes the beast's skull. As the second ape attacks Sola and Tars, she throws her sword at Carter. He leaps forward, driving the blade through the creature's chest. The crowd explodes with cheers as Carter stands victorious. Tal, furious, leaps down to kill Carter himself, but Carter counters and decapitates him, earning the title of Jedak of the Tharks. Standing before the tribe, Carter gives a powerful speech. He declares that Barsoom's survival depends on unity and that Zodanga's tyranny must end. Inspired, the Tharks rally behind him, and together they march toward war. But when they break through the city gates, they find it deserted. The ceremony is actually being held in helium, and Zodanga's forces are already positioned outside its walls. Carter insists on flying ahead using Zodanga's airships. Tars reminds him that Tharks do not fly, but Carter doesn't hesitate. He commandeers a ship and takes off alone. Meanwhile, in helium, Dija and Sabdh's wedding begins under the twin moons. Carter races across the skies. As the couple prepares to drink from the sacred chalice and seal their vows, Carter crashes his airship through the ceremonial hall, shouting a warning that it's a trap. Instantly, chaos erupts. Shang orders Sabdh to summon his guards using the signal of the blue moonlight. A massive battle breaks out inside Helium's palace. Carter fights to reach Dija, who stabs Sabdh in the wrist and falls from the platform, only to be caught by Carter midair. They fight side by side, Dija cutting down guards while Carter duels Sabdh in a brutal showdown. Outside, the Tharks finally arrive and captured Zodangan airships, turning the tide of battle. Tars throws a sword to Carter, who catches it and slices off Sabdh's arm. Defeated, Sabdh pleads for his life, promising to reveal everything about the Therns. But before he can speak, Matai Shang, disguised as a Thark, kills him to keep their secret. Shang then attacks Carter, about to kill him until Dija stops him. He transforms into Dija to fight the real Dija. She snatches the medallion from his hand and tosses it to Carter, who immediately hurls it to the ground. Tars picks up the medallion, but then Shang disguises himself as Carter and approaches Tars to hand it over. Tars hands it over immediately. Just before Tars could realize, the real Carter shouts for him not to do it. Tars tries to stop him, but Shang immediately disappears before they can strike him down. After the battle finally ends, the remaining guards are defeated and peace returns. Carter and Dija exchange their vows and drink the holy water together, officially marrying each other and making Carter the Prince of Helium. That night, Carter stands alone on the balcony, gazing into the skies of Barsoom. He finally makes his decision. He throws away the medallion, choosing to stay on Mars forever with Dija. But just as he's about to head inside, Shang suddenly appears out of nowhere and uses his powers to send Carter back to Earth. Carter wakes up inside his cave of gold, realizing he's back where it all began. Heartbroken, he cries out and even tries repeating the words to return, but without the medallion, it's impossible. Still, Carter recalls Shang's knowledge of Earth, proof that the Therns had once existed there, meaning there's still a way for him to return. For the past 10 years, Carter searches every possible clue and trace of the Therns, hunting for another medallion, but finding nothing. Eventually, he comes up with a plan. He hires men to search for more caves, pretending to have found another one, knowing the Therns have been following his every move. Trusting no one, he fakes his own death, instructing his butler to summon his doctor and attorney. By the time they arrive, Carter is already pronounced dead. But questions remain. Why was his death so sudden? And why could his tomb only be opened from the inside? It turns out, if Carter's body dies on Earth, his duplicate body on Mars also dies. Back in the present, Edgar continues reading Carter's journal, realizing that Carter had entrusted him with his entire fortune and the responsibility to guard his tomb from the Therns who might try to destroy it. He also learns that he is the key to unlocking the door of Carter's tomb. Edgar races to the tomb and deciphers the mechanism, unlocking it using the name Ned, just as Carter once called him. A Thern appears from the shadows and tries to stab him from behind, but the Thern is shot dead from behind by Carter himself. Carter takes the Thern's medallion and reveals the truth. He had never truly died. It was all a trap to lure the Therns out and reclaim the medallion. Edgar was part of the plan all along, though he didn't know it. Carter hugs him tightly, thanking him for his help and bidding him farewell. Finally, Carter lies back down inside the tomb, holding the medallion close. He speaks the command words one last time, and in a flash of blue light, his body vanishes, sending him back to Barsoom, to his true home. The movie ends. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.